Lol.
But mostly what I rely on is people getting too focused on one location. So it's like, okay, well, he's attacking this portion of the map. Where can I build a base that he's going to least expect it to be? It doesn't have to be the furthest from his base. It just has to be in a position he's not going to expect it. And some of the bases died, others survived, and then High Zealot came by and just basically killed everything. And then I was down to, like... God, it was close. That game was almost as close as that one where I was Terran with you and Imperia.
Lol.
I had, like, no money at all.
I think one thing that I should have made for my expansion is more spell crawler when you already go air on them. So we forgot to do that. That's the one of the biggest problem. Else I would not lose my expansion over and over to you.
I really don't like going air on that map just because of how easy it is to get Scourge and kill them all.
Well,
but in that game I didn't really have much of a choice because your Zergling upgrades were already so high that anything I built on land wasn't going to compete with it. Like, I would pretty much have to devote entirely to a robo army, and that was not really going to give me any kind of map control on that map. It's too big.
Yes, everywhere we know aliens are very, very useful. I just lack too many machine upgrades to use them, and
I only had like 1 or 2 machine upgrades, I think.
Mm.
They still were pretty effective though with pre-igniter.
Yep. Maybe I should did get a few more, if only to screw over your workers. But I forgot.
Well, at that point, when you were attacking me with Hellions, I had a surplus of money, so losing probes at that point wasn't really that bad to me.
How much money did you add late game about?
At that point, when you were attacking me with the Hellions and I had like all 4 bases there, I was probably sitting on around 15k minerals and 3k gas.
Damn it.
But by the end, when it was down to like the Colossi and those few bases, I had maybe a couple thousand minerals and 0 gas. And all the way up until the point where I controlled the middle. Yeah, all the way up until the point I controlled the middle, I had nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, I was basically going from base to base and mining it. When you and High Zealot attacked my bottom right base and destroyed all those buildings I was putting up, I had a single base that you both walked right past. That was the only one mining, and when I started mining from that base, I transferred probes halfway across the map. I had 0 minerals until that base was mining.
Fuck.
That was like... If any of you had even like dropped a single Zergling in there, I probably would have been screwed. And that would have been game, because I didn't have enough money to build a Nexus anywhere else. And when that base went down, I got like 1,400 minerals out of it and was able to rebuild. That game was just... retarded.
Well, is it on
and then I went onto the island, and then the point of the island, I was like buying individual carriers with the income.
Is it another that you cast the replay or not? Just exceptionally?
I'll probably cast a replay for that.
Well,
I don't know when, but I've already casted the one that I was Terran with you and Imperia, but I've been too lazy to process the video or anything.
I see.
I'll probably eventually cast this one, but I haven't really felt like casting anything for a long time. I probably won't be actually casting again until Heart of the Swarm comes out, like even semi-regularly.
For Heart of Swarm, I'm not even sure if I will buy it in the end. Really not sure.
I'll probably end up buying it just to LP the campaign, if anything. I don't know if I'll be casting it or playing it, because StarCraft 2 really is not that good, but...
Well,
I mean...
Well,
like,
it's mostly Battle.net, the problem is as well. And
the Webbers had been harassing me non-stop for months to play Earth 216, and the one time we played, we couldn't even get it to we couldn't even get the damn thing to connect.
Shit.
I'm not sure if it was like due to firewalls or whatever, but it was mangled.
And now even web.
Now it's like I want to finish Black Sun before I do too much.
I see. Uh,
I'll probably play it sometime, but I think that's a game that EV will break me in just because I have played it all of once in the past 5-6 years. Also, he's like built a mod for it that rebalanced everything.
By the way, for that mod,
you know, oddly enough,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Ivy, what did you change in that mod? Just to know, out of curiosity.
He changed the way like the armor works, so it's less retarded. I don't know if you've ever actually played that game before.
Just a bit or two, but I did not have that much interest.
Well, I think he added like a bunch of units, changed some weapons around, simplified the upgrades a little bit, made the armor types less retarded, nerfed anti-air, and some other stuff like that. Like it's pretty much like a gameplay conversion, you could say. And you know the funny thing is I think EVWeb has done more modding than most of the people in our community, like the veterans, just not for StarCraft.
Oh. Lol.
It's actually kind of hilarious. He was like modding some game called Escape Velocity, I imagine for a while. It's kind of hilarious. Well, I'm gonna go into the other vent, so actually, you know what? HKS probably isn't even awake anymore. Probably go back to what it was doing before this.
Lol.
And try to start rigging that carrier.
It's HKS private vent.
That was a hilarious game, though.
Yep.
I think, like, the one thing you could have really done better in that was, like...
Probably scouting.
At one point you had a lot of... Well, scouting and, as Zerg, when you have, like that kind of air dominance, Zerg is very air-friendly. Like, you can definitely make a lot of air as Zerg. Like, if you had got, like, mass devourers or mass devourers and mustaches or something along those lines, that would have been a lot harder for me to deal with, because I didn't have, other than carriers, which are really, really bad against devourers, there wasn't really anything I could do against, like, devourers or, like,
I think the problem I was avoiding air because there's little air that seems to work well against carrier without macroing a lot. That's one of my issues.
Oh, devourers, you just... If you have like a lot of devourers, you just split them into two groups and just shift back through the carriers and they just utterly murder them. And you want to catch them from like the sides, like if the carriers are all spread out, like attacking your base or something. The best way to do it is to come from the sides, so the least amount of carriers are attacking you at once, and you've got most of your devourers attacking each carrier at once. And then you can just slaughter them single file. I did that to Mucky in one of the last games I played with Mucky a long time ago when devourers first got buffed.
I see. Oh well. Although I still think there's air, but I think it's also scouting. If even just putting a Zergling burrow that just a little everywhere, just to see the new base that you did get, I think that would be the one thing that would help. For example, to prevent you to expand middle so much while I was so focused on the island, stuff like that.
I don't even usually expand to the middle on these games anymore because, like, when we first started playing on this terrain, it was like I expanded to the middle and no one else ever did. And then, of course, those are the high yields and that's why I'd win. But then people started realizing, oh wait, you can expand to the middle early on. And then everyone started doing that, and then everyone started attacking the middle really, really fast. So then it was like, okay, so middle's kind of a no man's land because people kind of expect you to expand to the middle early on now because of the high yield. So now it's actually really unsafe to expand in the middle. But if you went to like middle and late game, I think the psychology of that is that you would think that no one would expand to the middle because they would think it's too dangerous, but that's exactly why they expand to the middle, because they think you get too confident and don't scout the middle. And that's why the middle can still be very strong.
I see. But I think he made that comment, a voice comment. Barely heard it.
Yes.
Barely heard it. What did they
Yes,
say?
he did. He said, "Yeah, you fucked me up today."
EV Web commented, "Must hit my middle with hands."
Yeah, I bought some Hellions very fast, and EV Web had a fast expansion in the middle, and I completely denied it with just like 3 or 4 Hellions.
Oh dear.
I always scout to the middle now because I know that people still try to fast expand in there.
EV Web commented, "No."
Well, then I think I'll call it a night for my case. Although,
Alright, see you later.
see ya. Anyway, you're just Q there with me.
EV
Maybe
Web
Jade.
commented, "Simon."
Usage time for Silver Blade Rotan has expired. Wonder if it's gonna phase me. Ah, too bad.
Good night.
What? I can't re-enter the instance.